What's up, Eagles? My name is Marissa and Franco. Today's show will feature News with Jimmy, Entertainment with Belle, Sports with Luke, and Weather with Alex. Be ready for today's show because it's going to be a wild ride.
Hey Eagles, I'm Sophia Donnelly.
And I'm Marissa and Franco.
Hey Marissa, how was your spring break?
Well, my spring break was interesting. I was supposed to be in Paris and we all ended up sick at home, but we made the best of it.
I'm sorry about that. Glad you still had fun though.
Yeah, it was a great break.
A lot of crazy stuff happened over break, and luckily we got Jimmy in the studio today to teach us some more.
Take it away, Jimmy.
What's happening, Eagle Nation? My name is Jimmy Palda, and I'm your news reporter for the day. Let's get right into it. Recently in the United States, top secret government documents have been leaked onto the internet. These papers were highly classified and were not meant to get out. The documents had information about the war in Ukraine and other information about U.S. allies. They revealed some strategy and plans that could give the advantage to Ukraine for some time. Moving on to the next story, Germany has closed down the last of their nuclear power plants. As most countries are building more of these nuclear power plants, Germany is shutting them down. Nuclear power plants provide cheap energy without producing harmful greenhouse gases like burning fossil fuels do. However, the downside to these power plants is that they produce radioactive toxic waste when making energy, which, unless stored properly, can be very harmful to the environment. This has led to some controversy in Germany and in the world whether to utilize nuclear power or to find another way to make a sustainable green energy. Well, that is all I have for you guys today. My name is Jimmy Palda, sending it back to Marissa and Sophia.
That really was a lot of information, and I feel like I'm informed now.
Yeah, I agree, but I feel like there's still more that we probably don't know.
What could that be?
How life was for students trying to get into college during COVID.
Oh yeah, didn't Leo film a segment talking about that with his brother?
Yes, he did. Let's take a look at the clip.
Hello, I'm Leo Francis, and I'm here with
Quentin Francis.
And Quentin, how old are you?
I'm 19, just about to be 20.
And how do you know me?
I'm his brother.
And what school are you at currently?
I'm at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
So, you attended Santa Margarita,
Yes.
and what year did you graduate?
2021.
So your junior year would have been 2020 then, correct?
Yes.
In the middle of the COVID pandemic?
Yes.
And junior year, you did a lot of your applications, right, for college?
Yes.
So can you kind of tell us about a little bit how the college application process was affected by COVID and kind of how you were able to work through this?
Yeah, so unfortunately because of COVID, a lot of people who graduated in 2020, so in the midst of COVID, decided to take a gap year. So that meant that applications were that much more competitive. In fact, I think I was applying to majority UC schools, and they were every single school was receiving record application numbers, and so it just made the acceptance rates and the overall competitive nature of the college process that much more competitive. And obviously, it made my application look a little bit, not as appealing as it would have been in a normal year. So, unfortunately, that did mean that a lot of my schools that I was they were my target schools, ended up being more of a reach school as kind of the application process panned out. So, but I did luck out, and I got accepted into Cal Poly in the program that I wanted, and I couldn't be more happy. So I'm really enjoying my time. So I think it all worked out.
That's awesome. So as you kind of just said, you're happy where you turned out at Cal Poly.
Yeah.
But do you know of anybody that maybe wasn't as lucky? Because of COVID, you were talking about there's more applications, so maybe a school that they thought they'd be able to get into turned into, as you were saying, a reach school, and it was kind of like they just weren't able to get in.
Definitely. I think a large portion of my friends have already transferred or are in the process of transferring. I'm now a sophomore, so that's kind of a typical transfer process is after your second year, you transfer to another school. That's a typical kind of thing. But a lot of people transferred after first semester, went to community college. Saddleback is a popular option for a lot of people. But a lot of people also just ended up going to Saddleback straight out of Santa Margarita. which I know is not as common. I think, I want to say upwards of 90% of people graduating from SM, at least in my year, but I'm sure it's the same in other years, went to a 4-year school. So except for, sorry, I should rephrase, on average it's about 90%, but my year was a lot lower. And I attribute that to probably COVID-19 and that effect on the college process. A lot of people didn't get in where they wanted to. So instead of just going to maybe a school that they didn't really want to go to or wasn't their major or anything like that, they decided to take a few years at community college and then transfer to a 4-year university for the next 2 years.
So yeah, lots of long-term repercussions along with just making the whole application process difficult.
Definitely.
All right, well, this has been the interview. I'm Leo Francis, signing off.
Thanks, Leo. That was very interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure that the transition was super hard.
Marissa, did you go to Coachella this year?
No, unfortunately I didn't, but it looked like so much fun.
Yeah, it did. We have Belle in the studio to tell us about the first weekend.
Good morning, Eagles. I am Belle Powell, bringing you today's entertainment report. Starting off with last weekend's music festival, Coachella. This year, Coachella had a great lineup. The headliners were Bad Bunny, Blackpink, and Frank Ocean. Speaking of Frank Ocean, fans were very excited to be able to watch him perform. This is because it was his first time performing in 6 years, but Frank Ocean nearly dropped out of Coachella on Sunday. Certain sources state that the reasons why things went downhill for Frank on Sunday was due to an ice rink that was constructed and ready to go for his performance. Apparently, Frank decided at the last minute that he no longer wanted the rink in his performance at all. Coachella had to deconstruct and melt the rink. This caused an hour delay in Frank's performance. If the last-minute changes weren't made, he wouldn't have performed at all, leaving the festival without a closing headliner. On another note, a rep for the city of India, where Coachella was held, tells TMZ that Coachella was fined $117,000 for going past curfew. Coachella missed the cutoff time of 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday and midnight on Sunday, going over by 20 minutes Friday, 22 minutes Saturday, and 25 minutes Sunday. That's a lot of money for about an hour and 15 minutes of performances. Well, Eagles, that's all I have for you today. Take it back to Sophia and Marissa.
Thank you, Belle. That seemed like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wish I would have gone.
Oh, it looks like Annalise did an interview with her friend.
Oh, really? That sounds interesting. Run the clip.
My name is Izzy Romero.
What do you do?
I do gymnastics acrobatics. Before acro, I did high school cheerleading.
What made you switch to acro?
Cheerleading was just not really the best environment for me, and there were some conflicts that I had going on with the girls, so I decided that it wasn't the best place for me and decided to switch to acro.
What led up to the bullying?
There were lots of things that led up to the bullying. I don't quite have like a specific example, but all the girls were just not being very kind to me, and neither was a coach, and I was taken out of a lot of like my stunts, and I was really disappointed, and it just wasn't the best environment for me anymore.
What did you do when you were getting bullied?
When I was getting bullied, I tried like isolating myself, and like I didn't like hang out with them as much, but honestly it just kept on happening, and it just was not the right environment for me.
Who was involved?
Two of my best friends, I had known them ever since I was about 5 years old, I believe, and I never expected this to happen with them, but yeah, they were my two best friends for the longest time.
What challenges did you face? How did others help?
I faced lots of challenges. I didn't really want to go to school anymore because I had such bad anxiety, and I was really nervous about seeing them on campus. But my biggest support was probably my mom, because she and I decided that it was best for me to go into the hybrid program and to stop doing cheerleading and so yeah, I think my mom was my biggest support and helper throughout overcoming these challenges.
What did you do next?
After joining the hybrid program, I decided that I wanted to go back to gymnastics acrobatics because I had done it previously when I was younger, and I just decided that I thought I would have more fun and thought that I would find my passion for gymnastics acrobatics again once I joined back on the team and found friends that actually supported me throughout my journey.
How did that work out for you?
After leaving cheerleading and going back to acro, it actually made me feel a lot better, and honestly, I'm just having so much more fun than I was when I was doing cheerleading, so it honestly worked out great for me.
What would you say to others who find themselves in a situation similar to yours?
I would say to them to stay strong and don't let the bullying get to you, and find friends or people that love you and care for you instead of people who are bringing you down and making you feel worse about yourself. So stay strong and don't let it get to you.
Thank you so much, Annalise. That was very cool.
Yeah, it was. Marissa, have you been caught up with sports recently?
No, I have not. I've been so busy. What about you?
No, to be honest, I haven't either. Thankfully, Luke is in the studio to tell us what has been going on in the sports world. Take it away, Luke.
Hi, my name is Luke Aquanita, and I am here to give you your latest sports report. Recently, March Madness has been going on. Let's take a look at the semifinals before we talk about the championship. First, let's talk about one of the best games to happen in the playoffs. The two teams battling were San Diego State and Florida Atlantic. At the half, everyone thought Florida Atlantic was going to win by their impressive performance. The score at the half was 40-33, but San Diego State didn't give up, and they put a crazy second half comeback. The final score was 72-71. Switching over to UConn versus Miami. Miami has been preparing this game for all year, but it looked like UConn was going to advance to the championship. UConn won 72-59. Moving on to the championship, UConn looked like they had the game in the bag, with the final score being 76-59. Well, Eagles, that's all I have for you today for your sports report. I'm Luke Aquanita, sending it back to Marissa and Sophia.
Wow, thank you so much, Luke. Now I feel like I know what's going on in the world of sports.
Yes, me too.
The weather has been all over the place lately.
I know, right? By any chance, do you know the weather for this upcoming week?
No, I do not, but luckily we have Alex in the studio to tell us about the weather.
Great, take it away, Alex.
What's up, Eagles? I'm your weatherman, Alex Sheehan, and let's get right into it. On Friday, we will see a high of 84 with a low of 54. Saturday, we'll continue to see sunny weather with a high of 81, a low of 53. Sunday, it cools off a little with a high of 71 and a low of 52. On Monday, we'll continue to see it cool off as it's a high of 67, a low of 51. On Tuesday, a high of 68 with a low of 50. Wednesday, it will warm back up. It'll be sunny with a high of 76 and a low of 54. And Thursday, it'll also be a high of 76 with a low of 53. Well, thank you, Eagles. That's all the time I have for you today. Back to Marissa and Sophia in the studio.
Thank you so much, Alex. Now I know the exact days to go to the beach.
I believe that is all the time we have left today.
Thank you for watching, Eagles. Once again, I'm Marissa and Franco.
And I'm Sophia Donnelly. See you guys next time.